Hey folks, how we doing today? It's me again, Shannon Fox here, Devoted Patriots 2 channel. I've got a clip here for you from Tucker Carlson. He has got Governor Greg Abbott on the phone. Everybody that is paying any attention to the news over the last couple of days since the Supreme Court ruled 5-4, basically allowing Biden's immigration department to continue to the Border Patrol to continue to cut the razor wire here in Texas. Well, since this has happened, Governor Abbott and Ken Paxton have both give the Biden administration the double-barrel middle finger, and in turn they have ramped up the building of the fences with the razor wire, and they're going to start putting out more shipping containers as well. I'm told that from everything I've seen in the last couple of days that there is now a concerted effort for the states to fight the federal government. I'm talking about 25, 26 states total. 25 states backing Texas, making 26 states total against this immigration policy that is wide open borders, against this ruling by the Supreme Court Justice, and want to do what they can to help Texas, because they realize immigrants aren't just coming to Texas. They're coming to a city near you. And that just tells you that we've got 20-something decent governors in this country. The other 20-something, I don't know why they're not involved. Maybe they're Democrat governors. That's probably the case for the most part. But this is getting heated up. I've seen a lot of videos today talking about civil war, about secession, Texas seceding from the United States, because Texas used to be its own country and its own republic, and can do it again because Texas has its own ability to support itself just with the business here. Texas has a monstrous economy. I mean, an economy like many countries have. But I do want to say, I hope nothing like that actually happens. I think what I would rather happen is the border be closed. But the Biden administration is not going to do it. People like Abbott, Mike Johnson, and people in Congress trying to convince Biden with legislation, with asking, with haggling, with compromising, hoping that the Biden administration is going to change their policy and actually close the door on that fence. It's not going to happen, folks. They are dead set on allowing as many people in this country as they can, all the way up till the day that they don't have that option anymore, which will be, I believe, in January when Trump's back in there. That's the plan. But I got this clip here I wanted to bring to y'all, but I wanted to do a little bit of reading first. It says, Governor Abbott, we are prepared for conflict with the Biden regime over the border. It says 10 states have sent their National Guards to defend Texas against the invasion. Now, 25 states have said they will help Texas with whatever they need. Kristi Noem said she would drive a truck down there full of barbed wire if need be, and it looks like we've already got 10 states that are sending National Guards. Now, what we're going to end up having is the federal National Guard and the state National Guard, I guess, going toe-to-toe in the end. Will the Biden administration try to confiscate the National Reserves in Texas? That's a possibility as well. I don't think that they would. I don't know how that would work. That's a crazy scenario, but I heard that as well this week. It says Texas Governor Greg Abbott told Tucker Carlson on Friday afternoon that he is fully prepared for conflict with federal authorities, and that states have already sent their National Guards and other law enforcement to defend our border. Tucker started the interview by asking Abbott what would he do if Biden regime federalized the Texas National Guard, meaning basically taking Texas National Guard away from him. Let's go ahead and get into the video, folks. I don't want to spoil it for you.
On Monday, the Supreme Court of the United States ruled that the Biden administration is legally allowed to open the border by force to cut down razor wire along the Rio Grande sector of the U.S.-Mexico border in Texas. The usual suspects voted for this: Sonia Sotomayor, Elena Kagan, Ketanji Brown Jackson, but they were joined by so-called conservative justices John Roberts and Amy Coney Barrett. So in response to this ruling, which shocked many, the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, drafted a letter not simply to the administration, but to the world. And here's part of what it says. Under President Biden's lawless border policies, more than 6 million illegal immigrants have crossed our southern border in just 3 years. That is more than the population of 33 different states in this country. This illegal refusal to protect the states has inflicted unprecedented harm on the people all across the United States. Abbott goes on to say the state of Texas has the authority under the Constitution to, quote, protect itself. That authority is the supreme law of the land, and it supersedes any federal statutes to the contrary. And then, following very quickly, 25 other states with Republican governors signed a letter pledging their support to Texas and its constitutional right to defend itself and this country.
Yes.
Those states include Ohio, Florida, Utah, Nevada, and many others. And then the Biden administration responded. The administration threatened these states, and particularly Texas, with a, quote, 24-hour deadline to allow Border Patrol to reopen the border and to take down the barbed wire. Clearly a collision course. What happens next? We're thankful to be joined now by Governor Greg Abbott of Texas, who joins us by phone from India. Governor Abbott, thank you so much for joining us. If the administration declares that it plans to federalize the National Guard of the state of Texas, your National Guard, what will be your response?
Well, first, I'll be shocked. That would be a boneheaded move on his part, a total disaster. But for one, as you might imagine, we are prepared in the event that that unlikely event does occur to make sure that we will be able to continue exactly what we've been doing over the past month, and that is building these barriers, whether it be the concertina wire or other anti-crime border barriers, whatever we've been building. The Biden administration is now trying to attack us because of it, and we will continue to do exactly what we're doing to expand our denial of illegal entry into the state of Texas.
With state employees, I assume, not with National Guard, but can you envision a scenario in which you would put armed state employees on the border instead of the National Guard of Texas?
We do have other armed state employees on the border as we speak right this minute, and that's the Texas Department of Public Safety, as well as other law enforcement officers, as well as National Guard from other states. And you can be assured there will be more National Guard from other states and more law enforcement officers within the state of Texas and other states. And, Tucker, I just signed a new law in the state of Texas that will go into effect on March the 5th that authorizes any law enforcement officer in the state of Texas to be able to arrest anybody coming across the border illegally.
Have you spoken to the president or anyone from the Biden White House about what appears to be an imminent collision?
I have not, to be clear. I have spoken to the president about the border. I met him on a tarmac in El Paso and talked to him directly about what was going on. I handed him a letter that had in it immediate solutions he could take that would immediately secure the border without the need of any new law to be passed. Despite the fact that I handed him on altogether 8 different letters, he has refused to ever respond. My point in telling you that, we have laid down the precursor of what's called Article 4, Section 4 of the United States Constitution to show that we have been invaded and we have demanded support from the president to safeguard our state, and they have refused to do so 8 times, and that authorized me to declare an invasion under Article 1, Section 10 of the Constitution to make sure that Texas is going to be able to use every tool in our arsenal to defend our state.
Of the couple of dozen Republican-led states who've pledged support for you, how many do you think would send National Guard to Texas?
I'll be shocked and disappointed if almost all of them do not send. There have been about 10 so far that have sent National Guard or other law enforcement. They now are joined together with us, and this is a fight for the future of America, and they all know it. And so I believe that they will all be in on this effort.
Yes.
It's just a remarkable moment. And I know you're heading out, but my final question is, how do you see this resolving? What happens next?
Well, Texas is going to continue to expand the border barriers that we are erecting, the razor wire that we're putting up, and to continue to gain control of more land over the coming months. I believe, however, that this will all come to an end on January the 20th of next year, because I believe a new president will be sworn in, a president who will actually enforce the immigration laws of the entire country, not just the Texas border, but New Mexico and Arizona and California and the Canadian border also. and we will have safe and secure borders once again, because we will have a president who actually will enforce the laws of the United States of America.
But in the next year, are you concerned about any kind of conflict between state forces, whether state employees or National Guard, and federal forces?
So, Tucker, all we can do is be as prepared as possible, deploy as many people as possible, do as much as possible to put up more border barriers and deny illegal entry. And our head is down. We're working hard, regardless of what the Biden administration is doing.
Governor Greg Abbott of Texas joining us now from India. Thank you very much, Governor.
Wow. Tell me what you think in the comment section down below, folks. This is actually a crazy story, and it is getting crazier by the minute. Now, the Biden regime give all these states, especially Texas, 24 hours to change course. And if we don't do it in 24 hours, what happens next? What is the Biden administration going to do? They're going to send the feds down there? Are they going to try to do something to the National Guard as far as taking the authority away from them, or basically taking them? And I believe the way it works, the National Guard is the state's guard, but I believe federal authority supersedes it, because the National Guard, even state by state, is federalized, if that makes any sense. Like Abbott said, is all we can do is prepare as much as possible, deploy as many people as possible to try to keep these people out. But in reality, it's probably nothing going to happen over the next 9 months, except for another 9-10 months of what we got here right now, which is legislation, lawsuits, heads being butted up against each other like two male rams from the states versus the federal. And hopefully with these 25 extra states standing in solidarity with Texas, and hopefully the number will grow, maybe that will help the Supreme Court with their decisions in the future when it comes to this, because there's going to be many cases come before the Supreme Court, especially when Texas goes to arresting people in the state for crossing the border illegally here in March. Now, when that happens, there will be lawsuits sold everywhere, and that will probably end up going all the way to the Supreme Court as well, because they're going to call it a constitutional issue. Should a conflict or a potential full-blown war erupt with the regime over the border, Texas will need all hands on deck. Now, I hope we don't end up in a civil war behind this, but this border crisis is the straw that broke the camel's back. My regret is it's taken till almost the end of the Biden administration for it has gotten so bad that it's undeniable to everybody, and so therefore it has to be reported on some level. That's a horrible scenario. We should have been covering this, finding solutions for this, suing the Biden administration, telling the Biden administration, we're going to do what we're going to do, whether you like it or not, get out of our state. I think Abbott's doing a decent job. I think Mike Johnson is trying to coerce Biden into doing a better job. I think Congress is working really hard, because a lot of them guys in Congress really want that money for Ukraine. And there's those there that actually care about the border. Even some Democrats at this point. New York cares at this point. The people of New York and the mayor of New York and the governor of New York all see this is a problem. So will states like New York turn red behind this fiasco known as the border crisis? Who knows? But this border crisis, if there's anything positive I can say about it, it is killing Biden's approval. It is the number one issue in the country, even over the economy. And that tells you something, folks, even over the economy. That's all I got for you on this video here about this. There's a lot more going to be coming out. We'll probably get a lot more information about it in the next couple of days, considering there's a 24-hour ultimatum. But I've got a funny little clip for you, folks. Just a ha-ha at the end. Now, clueless Joe Biden Excuse me. Clueless Joe Biden poses with his hard hat on backwards during a photo op with the construction workers. And then he gets savagely mocked on Twitter and Truth Social and all those places. This is so good, folks. I cannot tell you how funny this is to me. This is a welder's hat or a construction worker's hat, hard hat is what I would call it. I have one myself. Mine's white. I don't have to wear it on my current job, but a lot of us men and women know how to put on a hard hat. And if you take a look at this picture, you'll see right off the bat, he's got that sucker on backwards. Of course he does. Now, my question is, did these people that got in the photo op with Joe Biden, the miners, because he stopped and, I guess, having a beer with the union workers, the miners, and they gave him a hard hat to put him in on the picture. Now, my question is, did they put the little blue hard hat in the bottom of the picture, in the bottom of the frame, because somebody took it off, so Joe wouldn't know he had his hat on backwards? One of these guys took his hat off, and then they put and then they either offered Joe the hat or Joe wanted to wear the hat. Now the question is, do you think Joe put the hat on backwards, or do you think they told him, hey, this is how it goes? And they're all getting a big laugh. Do you think they're not all thinking F Joe Biden while they're looking at the opportunity to photobomb Joe Biden with his own stupidity by giving him a hat to wear backwards? I love it, folks. Now my battery is running low on this thing. I hear it dinging on me. So if it cuts short, I just let you know my laptop died. Now there was a meme here I wanted to show you. This is too good. This is the best one, I think. It says somebody's Twitter feed this afternoon, or Facebook feed, said, I'm sorry, why is Joe Biden in a miner's hat if he likes miners? And it's got the one picture to the side, and then it's got Trump loves miners, wearing a hard hat. Biden loves miners. You know what we're talking about there, folks. Tells you Joe Biden's never been on a job site in his life. It tells you he has never had a working man's tan and never had working man hands and does not know how to wear safety gear. That's a fact. I believe these guys trolled Biden with the photo op, and they're all probably still laughing about it. They will take this to their grave that they had got the opportunity to make Joe Biden look even worse for a second. Nothing but good stuff here, folks. Let's go, Brandon. That's what that makes me think of. And they fixed it. And the memes go on and on. It is crazy on Twitter and on Truth Social and Facebook with the memes about this clueless Joe Biden with the backwards hat on. Just thought I'd bring you something silly at the end, folks. Everybody have a great day. Over and out.